Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and if you're new here on my channel, I usually talk about Japanese movies, dramas, and entertainment. Sometimes I talk about other Asian pop culture topics as well, but recently I haven't been filming a lot of movie and drama reviews simply because I haven't watched anything that resonated with me, and I feel like, I want to sit down and make a video of it. I have been watching some stuff that are in queue probably that I'll talk more about in the future, but right now at this moment, there's just not that. I don't really make videos about dramas that just because they're trending or just because they're new. Usually whenever I make these types of videos, it's because of this huge urge of wanting to sit down and discuss it. But today I just felt like, I want to talk about a movie or a drama. It's been a while since I've done this, but I want to do it with something that I actually find really, really beautiful, something that I absolutely love. And that's the reason why we're going to be talking about いま会いにゆきます, or Be With You. I'll be talking about both the Japanese version that came out in 2004 as well as the Korean version that came out in 2018. I wouldn't be touching the 2005 drama adaptation of this narrative simply because I haven't seen that. But I hope that after watching this, I think the Korean version is easily accessible via Netflix. So if you love what you hear, then I hope that you check it out, because this is something that I absolutely love, and I'll be discussing more about the film in today's video. So with that said, let's just get to it. Before I start, real quick on the narrative or what the plot is about, what are the things that I love about it. Let's start first with how I ended up watching this film. Now, it's no secret, if you give my channel a quick scroll, then you would know that I'm a fan of Hirano Sho. And he's talked about this film a lot of times, in tons of interviews, even in his Instagram Q&A. Whenever someone asks him about his favorite film, he usually talks about いま会いにゆきます, the Japanese version. And so I love watching stuff or listening to songs or anything like that that is recommended by my favorite personalities or artists, simply because I do feel like people's preferences say a lot about them as well, their tastes or just their type when it comes to the the stuff that they consume, the media that they consume, so much more than just any regular person, and what their favorite things say about them as well are a part of their personality. And it doesn't just make up the entirety of who they are, but something about the works that they love and they think are their favorites kind of say something about them as well. And so when Sho said that he loved this film, I went ahead and checked it out. And I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, that now every time it's raining or every time I just need to watch a really nice film, it's not necessarily the happiest film out there, but whenever I need something a nice watch, then I would tune into the movie and just rewatch it again, whether that's the Japanese version or the Korean version. So just to put it out there, that's the reason why I ended up watching this movie in the first place. But moving on, so let's talk about the plot. Now, the plot that I'll be talking about is a Japanese version, but it's pretty much the same as the Korean version. I'll be talking about their differences later on into the video, but please assume that while I'm talking about the plot of this film, it's pretty much the same for both versions anyway. So the plot is about this family where the mom recently died, leaving her husband and their young kid. So the husband's name is Takumi, the son is Yuji, and the mother is Mio. Now, Mio promised her son Yuji that in the following rainy season after her passing, she would come back to them. And because of that, the kid is anticipating, rainy season. He's really enthusiastic when he heard that rainy season is coming, because he expects that his mom is gonna come back. And obviously, given, the circumstances, his mom passed away, then therefore, his dad is kind of just letting the son go with his imagination and all these other things, and they're just going about their days and stuff like that. And it's obviously very challenging for Takumi to be dealing with not just the death of his wife, but also raising his son alone. He's also a bit socially awkward in a sense, and just very quiet and reserved. And it really shows that that he's really struggling, and both of them are struggling with the loss that they both experience. And then one day, when the rainy season finally started, they actually encounter Mio, the mom. She actually came back in this tunnel, but she couldn't remember anything about them at all. She remembers who she is, but she couldn't remember being part of the family or anything like that. She doesn't have any recollection or memory as to who she is and all these other things. But obviously Yuji, being a kid, seeing his mom, he was very, very excited, and they take her home. And it's because it's his mom fulfilling his promise to her. Now, as it's so easy, and it's the film is not complicated. It didn't try to complicate things. Obviously, with Takumi having his wife back, and then Yuji having his mom back, they kind of welcome her back into her home, and she's a little bit confused, but she just kind of accepted this whole idea of having her family, and that the press release that they give her is that she's out sick. So she doesn't remember anything, but they don't tell her that she actually passed away, and all these other things. And they kind of just made it work. They started actually becoming a family again. And then with Mio and Takumi, Mio has a lot of questions as to how they fell in love, because it seems like their personalities are a little bit different. So Takumi tells her the story of how they actually met, their classmates back when they were younger, and it seems like he secretly likes her, all these other things, but they rarely spoke to each other, and all these other stuff. But they ended up meeting each other again back when they're a little bit more grown up. They fell in love, they started dating, all these other things, and they got married. And through that process, they ended up falling in love with each other all over again, and forming this family that they have. But obviously, it's not entirely happy, because again, Mio already passed away, and there's a lot of circumstances that are surrounding after the rainy season, she's gonna go away again. That was kind of the deal of sorts. Now, there's no actual explanation as to how this turned out. Do not overthink the plot at all. That's just part of what the story is about, is that promise that she left her kid, and for some reason it happened. And there's a huge plot twist in the end of the film, or a plot twist of a plot twist as well, that really rounds up how beautiful this film is, and makes it, the message isn't just about the love story between Mio and Takumi and them revisiting that, but it's also Mio choosing her family over, it's this choice of, if she's given 1,000 choices or 1,000 chances, she would still choose this family with Takumi and meeting her son Yuji in the future. And it's just a beautiful film overall, and the Korean version also follows this plot. Now, I forgot to talk about the cast, which is equally just as amazing. For the Japanese version, the late Takeuchi Yuko is the one who played Mio. Absolutely love her. And then Nakamura Shindo is the one who plays Takumi. In the Korean version, So Ji-sub and Son Ye-Jin actually play the main couple of the film. And Son Ye-Jin, obviously, being the melodrama queen of Korea, she did such a good job in terms of portraying Mio as well. And I just absolutely think the storytelling of this, coming from both a romantic and a parent perspective, or a family perspective, is just so nice and beautiful. The phenomena as to why things happened, it's not something to be explored, which I love. It's more of just the idea of, what if this happens, and it'll be completely lost anyway as to, but why exactly did she come back, all these other things. That's not the point of the film at all. And I feel like you will be swept up in just the beauty of the narrative and how it flows, and again that plot twist in the end, revealing, you know, why things happened the way they did, to question, you know, why Mio came back and all these other things. For now, the difference between both versions is the 2004 Japanese version. It's definitely a bit more melancholic in terms of the treatment. Like it's just a straightforward melodrama, all those other elements and stuff like that. For the Korean version, especially since this is made in 2018, so it's a usual kind of like K-drama vibe where there are a lot like certain comedic moments to it, you know. I do feel like Nakamura Shindo was a bit more effective in terms of playing Takumi's kind of like being more reserved and having that kind of like anxious vibe to him, especially when Mio passed away. But I think him and Jisoo both did a great job in terms of portraying this character of someone who just lost his wife and he absolutely adores their son and wanting the best for him and having a second chance at meeting the woman that he loved. And if they overall, it's just such like a good narrative, again, not just covering romance but also like just the idea of family. And I do feel like not a lot of people, you know, talk about it as well. I'm not sure if that's just within my radar, but I don't think like even the Korean version, when people talk about projects of Son Ye-Jin, I don't think they talk about this specific film more than they should because I do think that, you know, again, this is such a beautiful film just altogether. And yeah, and I think the plot twist at the end really like ties it all together, and it's not like a ridiculous plot twist at all. I think it just ties the entire narrative as it is, and just gives it a more, I don't know, a more like touching, like the film itself is already touching, but it elevates that because of that simple plot twist that it adds in the end. And that's the reason why I encourage more people to like check it out and watch it if they can, is again, it's because, you know, it's not the happiest film out there, but it's really heartwarming. And if you just need to, I don't know, thaw your cold heart a little bit or anything like that, I highly suggest that you check out this film. And I'm really thankful to Sho for constantly talking about this film to the point of piquing my curiosity, because it's also one of my favorite movies at the moment. Like when someone asks me, either version is fine. I just do think that, you know, the Korean version has a lighter touch to it when it comes to the more comedic moments. But yeah, overall, I do think that the remake did such a good job in terms of like capturing the fuzzy vibes of the original version. And I know that with Japanese films, not all of them can easily be streamed or anything like that. So having the Korean version at least on Netflix for people to check out, and just knowing how close the storytelling is, and just the like, they didn't really do a lot of changes into the main, like the core of the story, which I do think is great. So I highly recommend checking out the Korean version, just in case, you know, you can't find the Japanese version anywhere. But yeah, so with that said, I know that this isn't exactly like a new film recommendation or review, but I still want to do this recommendation and have a video of this film finally housed here on my channel. If you have any other films that you would like to recommend to me, something melodramatic, something that I can easily stream, something that you find fun, or just your favorite film altogether, tell me down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you again soon in a new one. Bye!